when I was a little boy, 10, 11 years old, I was very fond of pigeons, I was like crazy, mad about pigeons. And every day after school, I will go to my neighbor. Now, he lived there right next door to me. Right? Now, his name was Brema. Right? Now, he was, of course, older than me. Now, I couldn't say Brema, I had to say Buta Brema. Right? Now, Buta Brema had a lot of racing pigeons. Now, every day after school, I will sit in his pigeon loft for hours and hours, just watching them or even cleaning the loft. And one day he said to me, Noah, if you're older, you're still too young. I will give you 50 racing pigeons. But if you're not now, if you turn 17 one day, I will give you 50 racing pigeons. I said, why must you give it to me now? He said, no, you're still too young. And I just couldn't wait. Eventually, the day before I turned 17, I got a few of my friends together and said to them, please help me. I want to build a pigeon loft, in my backyard. And we went to all the Jewish stores. Now, one thing about people from districts is they were very kind, and we collected wood, The next morning, on my birthday, we started building this pigeon loft in our backyard, which was right here, right there. And this was during the summer, and we started building our pigeon loft from 6 in the morning. It took us almost a whole day, to build the loft. Before 6, I said to my friend, okay, I'm going to fetch Buta Brema now, you must come and have a look at my pigeon loft. And he came there, he saw my pigeon loft, and he took me back to his home, and he gave me all these 50 pigeons. I was so happy. That night I couldn't sleep. I was sitting in that pigeon loft, 2 in the morning. I was still in the pigeon loft, and my mother would shout, come eat your Cotswold coat. In other words, your dinner's getting cold. I said, Mommy, I'm not hungry. And I think I sat in that pigeon loft till 4 in the morning. Right? Now, 10 years later, when I was kicked out of my home, I moved to a place called Athlone. It's about 8 miles from here. Now, of course, when I moved, I had to break down my pigeon loft and build it in my new home, Athlone. After 3 months, I said to my wife, you know what? I think it's about time. I'm going to let all my pigeons out, set them free, see if they will come back to this new home. So early the Sunday morning, at 7 in the morning, I let them all out. I remember I was still standing in the road watching them, watching how they circle in the air. And I went back. I said to my wife, I'm going to Mitchell's Plain now for the day. That's where all my friends moved to. But I'll be back before 7 to feed them. I didn't give them any food that morning. So off I went to Mitchell's Plain. When I came back the evening, I went straight to the backyard to feed them. And as I entered the backyard, everything was so quiet, I couldn't understand. Because usually you'll hear a pigeon fly, or the sound a pigeon make, that sound? And everything was like that quiet. And as I climbed up the 3-step ladder, when I opened the pigeon loft door, not one pigeon came home. And I shouted at my wife, where are my pigeons? My wife said, no, they didn't come home. And that Sunday, I couldn't sleep. I was tossing and turning, worrying, where are my pigeons? And the next morning, on my way to work now, I couldn't stay away from the Street 6. Every morning, on my way to work, I will drive through, Caledon Street. And that morning, when I came down Caledon Street, my house was bulldozed already, remember? And I stopped my car right opposite where my house used to be. And when I got out of my car, and guess what? All my pigeons came home. This was unbelievable. They were facing, the sea, the harbor, and I tiptoed behind them. What will a pigeon do if you go up to a pigeon?
Fly away.
They'll fly away. Some of them actually turned around. Like this with their head. I'll never forget this. Slowly with their head. And they looked at me as if they want to ask me, where is our home? So it wasn't my home only. It was their home also. You know, that was so emotional. In fact, I practically fell on the ground and I cried. I cried. That was more emotional for me. When they bulldozed my home, I was watching them. That was emotional, but this was more emotional. Because, I mean, you imagine, that was a pigeon. How did we feel? How did we feel as human beings? But it happened to many people. You know, cats came back, dogs came back, even horses came back looking for their home. But it was all gone. But again, you know, we don't hate them, we forgive them what they did to us. Thank you.